Catalyst moments. When do you actually change? Most of us don't want to change. We don't like to change. We run away from change. We don't even allow other people to talk about change. Somebody tells us doctor tells us we need to change our eating habits, and we end up kind of laughing, mocking, and saying, there's no way I'm changing my eating habits, until we have a heart attack. We don't like change. I have some leaders that as I consult with and I talk with as we're talking, the leaders, they go, oh, I love change. And I'm like, okay, great. And then as we start talking about the things they're changing, and they're talking about the organization, and they get so excited about the change in their organization and all the things that they're asking their leaders and their teams to do, they're loving it. But then when I start asking questions about them and what they need to change, oh, no, we have a natural tendency. We don't like change. So what are these catalyst moments? What are the moments in which begin to really allow us to change? You see, I believe that most change happens in an instant. Most change happens in a moment when we make that decision. So what is it? What are those catalyst moments that cause us to start right now in this moment to change? Let me just give you a few. We change. A catalyst moment is when we hurt enough. You know, there's pain that we can endure. We have pain, we have a little bit of pain, we talk about the pain. But when we finally hurt enough and we say enough is enough, I am not going to hurt like this anymore, I am going to do something different. There's this moment, it just sparks in our brain, and we say, that's enough, no more. I'm not putting up with it, I hurt enough, and then we make the change. The business finally begins to say, okay, we're running on empty. We're losing too much money. And they'll talk about it, they'll talk about it, they'll talk about it, and then all of a sudden, when they hurt enough, then they make the change. Here's another catalyst moment. When you're ashamed. When you finally are ashamed of the results that you're getting. When you're ashamed in the way in which you're living. When you say, this is not who I want to be. I demand better, I demand excellence, and I'm not gonna be like this anymore. And you're ashamed. It could be when you open up your bank account and you finally see that I have $0 in the bank account, and you say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm ashamed of what I'm doing. I'm ashamed of I'm going to make the change that I need to get to the next level. What about this one? Here's a catalyst moment. Maybe you've had this one. It's haters. It's the haters in your life. There are going to be people, anytime you start doing something, they hate. But when they start complaining enough, when they start making enough fun, when they begin to mock you, and then all of a sudden something it grows inside you. You go, what? I'm going to show them. I'm going to do it, and my success is going to be my revenge. I'm going to do what it takes to get to the next level just because of how much they don't like me. Maybe you have somebody in your mind. You know, Michael Jordan, he always would have an enemy for that game, for that series, that would help drive him to compete, to get to the next level. Here's another catalyst. It could be the catalyst to cause your change is just what we have mentioned, competition. Maybe it's when you just get around the right people. Maybe it's that buddy, maybe it's that brother, maybe it's that other business leader, and you look across and you see their stats. It could be that other nonprofit. You begin to look across, and your competition, your competitive nature begins to rise in you. You go, what? If they're doing it, so can I. If they're making it happen in this environment, with that clientele, in that state, in that city, then if they can do it there, obviously I can do it here. So it begins to cause you to make the change in this moment. What about great loss? Great loss. It's an incredible catalyst. It's an incredible catalyst when you lose, and it costs you dearly. And as you pick yourself back up, you make that vow, you make that commitment to yourself, I will never, ever be in this place again. And it causes you to work harder. It causes you to stay up later. It causes you not to go to sleep. It causes you to rise early. It causes you to work the weekends because you made this commitment in that moment. That great loss, it hurt, but you'll never feel it again. One of the biggest catalysts is this last one. It's when the consequences of inaction outweigh the consequences of just staying the same. If I don't do it, then I'm going to end up worse off than just staying and doing what I'm doing now. You see, one of the catalysts is, it's just a moment where you're going, okay, this, if I stay on this course, if I stay right here in this moment, it's going to cost me more than if I make the change. So if I make the change, I can actually see a future. I can go further. So when I decide the change to not change is going to cost me more than I make the change, you know you've hit your catalyst moment. When? It doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. You know you hit your catalyst moment when at this moment you walk out of here a different person. You're now ready to perform the actions. You're now ready to put in the blood, sweat, tears, whatever it takes. The catalyst moment. As long as you're whining, complaining, as long as you're making excuses, you haven't hit your catalyst moment to make the change.